My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And we're back again with everyone's favorite episode. Right in time for a nice toasty holiday week for y'all. We got some toasty dramas we've been watching. And toasty other things. Okay, so with some dramas, some other things. We're branching out because people have been busy and not watching as many Asian dramas as normal. So there might be some other surprises, some non-Asian content today. And that's cool because we support all of our special interests in media consumption. And who knows, you might find something that you're really interested in watching. So, yeah. As you can see, it's just three of us. Jessie is still literally, she's mid-move, working full-time. So once she gets everything figured out, she'll be back full-time. But we're going on a partial schedule. She's going to be back. Don't worry about it. Okay? So to start us off on what we've been putting our eyeballs on, Amanda, what is something you've been watching?
Well, I scooped up an Amazon Prime membership for Black Friday sales or whatever. And so, watching all the little stuff over there, and saw that the Korean drama May I Help You, which is still currently airing, is on over there. And so I thought, I'll check this out. I really like it so far. It's kind of different. It's kind of got a similar-ish vibe, I would say, to something like Mystic Pop-Up Bar, where it's humorous, but also there's a sadness to it. Because, the base plot of it is the main female character works in a funeral home. So, that's not holly jolly. But the premise is basically that she was, I think, a table tennis athlete, and she injured herself, can't do that anymore, has to figure out a career, goes and interviews at this funeral home, and they're like, why do you want to work here? She goes, job security. I have no dreams anymore. Dreaming got me nowhere. I want a paycheck. And I want to retire in 30 years. I just want to work. And people will never stop dying, so I will always have a job. And they were like, we like your moxie, kid. Hired her. And then the first funeral she was helping with was one for a young boy. And when she touched his body, suddenly the embalming room completely transformed into this soft filtered, makeup dressing room kind of beautiful location. And she freaked out, as you would. And the kid starts talking to her, and she's like, what is going on? And she's freaking out and runs away. And all she can hear for however long afterwards, every time she falls asleep, every time she hears this kid saying, Noona, what happened to me? Where are you going? And she's freaking out. She finally talks to her uncle, who's a priest, and she's like, what is going on with me? And he says, I don't know, but
seems weird to me.
He says, all I can say is that God sometimes works in mysterious ways. Maybe you should go back and see what happens if you talk to the person. Maybe it'll never happen again, but you're never gonna know. And she goes back, and it does happen again. The very first scene that you have from this show is her brushing this older woman's hair, and in this beautiful change room and everything, and this woman's talking about her best friend and how close they were and how great everything was. And then she suddenly goes, that rotten whore, I hope she rots in hell. And the girl's like, what? I thought she was your best friend. And then the next scene you see is her walking up to the funeral full of mourners and slapping this woman across the face.
Oh my gosh.
What? And everyone yells at her, and she slaps her again. And then she goes, how dare you bring your affair into a place of mourning? And this woman was cheating on her, she was cheating with the husband. like the best friend and the husband,
Mhm.
while the wife was dying of cancer.
A classic caper.
And like in front of the wife, like she's lying sick in the hospital bed and he's grabbing her best friend's butt and stuff. Like he thinks she can't see it. It was so bad. And you'd think her boss would be mad. He's like, how dare you? And she's like, and he's like, good job. Like, he was like, and she had pictures and stuff too. Like she had proof. When she goes back to work, she makes a deal with God. She says, okay, God, I'll try. I'll do this thing. 21 people. I'll give you 21 people. And then you have got to take this away from me and let me just go free. I don't want to.
21 just for the sake of it being
Just for
21?
the sake of 21. No idea why. I thought maybe it was because she was 21 years old. No, she's 25. I don't know. It's just 21.
Maybe it's like an auspicious number or something. I don't know.
And
Right.
like, technically, like when the drama starts, she's at like 16 already. So I don't know where the 21 comes from. But and then the male lead in it is a guy who, with his uncle, they run this business called A Dime a Job, and they basically do odd jobs for people. And they keep coming across each other. Like basically one of the first jobs he's hired for is her boyfriend hires him to break up with her for him.
Gosh.
And which she doesn't take very well, obviously.
Well,
and
that's a real bitch move right there.
Right?
Like, just have balls, break up
because he
in
didn't,
person yourself.
And he gave a whole speech. Like, here's what I want you to tell her. I can't, ever since you got your new job, I can't stand to touch you or hold your hands because of what your hands do now. Like but didn't tell
Working
the guy
at a funeral home?
right. So like, and she's like,
No.
okay.
Rude.
And he said, guy's like, I'm sorry. He paid me to do this job. And she's like, okay, well, for starters, did you have to take his money? Like, you don't have to do every job, right? You could make choices, but okay. She's
fair.
Pretty shocked and stunned. He leaves and she chases him down. She goes, oh, hey, wait. And he's like, what? And she basically like hands him a $20 bill, kicks him in the shins and says, you go back and tell him you broke up with me? No, I broke up with you. Like, and he's like, you kicked me. And she's like, yeah, I'd like you to do that. Like, go.
Get fun.
So,
you know what? Fair.
Right?
Fair.
So after that, all like the first couple episodes, the next few dead people are people that he is connected with in life in some way. Like usually a very transient way, that he just like drove this drunk guy home from the bar one night, or, little random stories, but they start working together just because they're connected through these people's lives and stuff. And it's just been really nice. Like I'm really enjoying it. There's nobody, other than the terrible boyfriend who's there for like 5 minutes in the first episode. Nobody sucks. Nobody, like, the priest uncle's really sweet. There's a scene where he goes to talk to her dad, and they seem to be kind of suggesting that maybe the reason why she has this ability has to do with the fact that her mother died the day she was born. So you know how often if you've had a connection
born under
with
a sign of death. Ooh.
Yeah.
So this is on Amazon Prime?
On Amazon Prime. And
it's way done airing, right? Like
no, it's still ongoing, isn't it?
Oh,
no. It's weird because I just started it, but a lot of people I know now, I'm noticing that they're like tweeting about it and stuff, that they've been watching it for a while, but I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, it must.
They say things, and I'm like, oh, what? I'm not there yet.
May I help you?
I thought
I saw a few clips on TikTok of it, because I always get K-drama random.
Man,
K-drama
I thought
clips.
that's been going for months.
I thought it was done too, but then when I started seeing people tweet about it, I was like, is everybody just picking it up after it's done like me? And then it was like, oh no.
Well, I think it started in October, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it's getting close. So
yeah, I think it'd be close.
But it's cute. Like the stories so far, anyway, knock on wood, there's no like serial killer story that's
Well,
like
dang.
connecting all the dead bodies. They're all just one and done stories.
How many episodes are you in, though?
4.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
there's still time.
so there's still
There's
definitely
still time.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. It's good, and it's nice because the two of them, their relationship obviously has a rocky start with the nonsense, but she clearly gets over it very quickly, and they just kind of have this chemistry, and they just he'll call her up, and he's like, let me buy you dinner, and she's like, yeah, all right, and they go out and have like chicken and beer, like they just, but it's not like romantic necessarily, it's just hanging out, and it's just chill and kind of cute.
Mhm.
So
Well, that sounds probably like one that I will be watching at some point. So, Sky, what are you watching?
So prior to us recording, I established with the ladies here that I had only watched one thing. But as we were beginning, I figured out how to look at Netflix history to see if I really did watch anything else.
Oh, and you
I did watch a couple other things.
Oh,
so
look.
I will give an asterisk worth of. I watched probably 6 episodes of Love Between Fairy and Devil. Since I am not far enough to really say much about it, I'm not going to use that. Like,
I love that show.
so
it still needs to work on me to really hook me. Yeah, I'm gonna say that
it's a long show. You gotta get a little further in. Yeah, so I understand.
But I know it's very beloved. I wanted to just mention I have
mm-hmm.
a couple weeks back I did start on that, so that was a thing. But I did watch an anime called Romantic Killer. I watched the whole thing because it's super short. Okay, let me try to set this up for you. The lead character is a girl gamer girl. Like, she doesn't care about boyfriends. High schooler, nice. Literally doesn't care about it. Well, she was a high schooler. I can't even remember the ages. Yeah, they're still in high school. So the type of gamer girl that like all the hardcore games, all that stuff. So blah blah machinations. She was going to start this dating game, which she has played before. Not this. She's played dating games before, just like any other game. She plays all types of games. This game was made by this little wizard critter. So pretty much her life suddenly becomes the game. So all of a sudden she is stuck in a dating game where the dudes around her are suddenly all of her love interests, and she has zero interest in wanting to do any of that. But she has no option because this little wizard fairy critter, which kind of looks like this little animal with a hat, and it takes away the 3 things she loves. She loves games, she loves her cat, and she loves chocolate. And the wizard magics all of those things away and says, you don't get any of this back until you find your true love or whatever. And she is mad. And so the entire show is her being on the warpath, trying to fight against what this wizard critter is trying to make her do. So essentially these are all high school kids, like the boys are the high school boys that she already were kind of in her circles of, like, she's met them before or not, but she feels bad because all of a sudden she of course assumes their feelings aren't real, like all these things, because it's just machinations, right? So the entire time she's fighting against trying to not fall into that. So it's that typical thing. It was really funny, but it actually got way more serious as it went on. There's even a plot line of stalking for one of the boys. He has a stalker, and it's very scary. So it's very silly, but it was actually really fun. So I do recommend it. It was short, super short. I watched it just subtitled, so I don't know. I can't tell you how the English dubbing was or anything. I'm not sure, but it is super goobery because as far as when the little wizard, like, animal critter comes up, it's always because it'll be some like, oh, the power goes out and there's a storm. And so it's really tough on the characters, like, having to go through these things. And then the lead girl's like, wait, the wizard did this. Didn't you do this? And then it'll pop up like, haha, like, yep, I did it. Like,
the wizard.
and it was always like, pretty much, yeah, I'm gonna make you cohabitate, and yeah, I'm gonna make, like, it was always like, oh, can you just stop? Because essentially, she would watch, like, oh, neighbor boy, all of a sudden your apartment is flooded. I'm so sorry that your apartment is flooded because the stupid wizard. But she wasn't telling anybody this, of course, because she would think that they're crazy. So anyway, it was cute. I really do recommend it. Romantic Killer on Netflix, if that's something that you would dig.
So, in a rare turn of events, I watched a movie. It's really funny because I don't actually watch that many movies. I like long format shows. I like to take a long time. But I did watch a movie a couple days ago, and I really enjoyed it. It was called The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. And the reason I watched this movie, because TikTok, always fucking TikTok. Someone had posted like a clip from it. It has Ma Dong-seok in it. And I was like, okay, you've already sold me.
Say less.
Like starring Ma Dong-seok. So it's on Viki. You can watch it for free. It's not even one of their rentals. Like, it's just a free one. And okay, so let me lay out the scene for you, because this movie is wild. So Ma Dong-seok plays like the head of a gang, like one of the affluent gangs, and he's just, everyone's terrified of him because he's Ma Dong-seok.
Right.
Okay. Meanwhile, there's a cop who both hates Ma Dong-seok, but is not like, and just sort of a thorn in his side, but is not really that interested in him because he has bigger fish to fry. And the bigger fish to fry that he has is that he is convinced that there's a bunch of these murders that have happened, and he's convinced that it's a serial killer, but no one will believe him. And he's like, no, like, I am connecting the dots, like the meme, like, I've connected the dots. And everyone's like, you didn't connect shit. And he's like, no, like, I know this, I know in my heart this is a serial killer. No one believes him. Meanwhile, his like boss is on the payroll of Ma Dong-seok, so like, every time he annoys him, his boss is like, will you fucking leave that gangster alone? Like, he's not committing any crimes. And he's like, no, he 100% is, but whatever. So meanwhile, one night, Ma Dong-seok is just driving home after like some gangster business, and he gets rear-ended. And he gets out to like be like, yeah, whatever, like, just go, don't worry about it. And the guy attacks him with a knife. But Ma Dong-seok is Ma Dong-seok. So he gets slapped a bunch of times, but just like fucking slaps this dude, and it's like, what the fuck? Absolutely not. Anyway, the guy like runs away, and it turns out this is like this serial killer's MO. So the serial killer tried to kill him. So he's the only person who has survived the serial killer's attack. So now the cop has to like convince him to like join forces with him.
Even though they obviously
hate each other. They hate each other. So he has to convince him to like join forces with him to find this serial killer. It is so good. I will say, if it is very violent, but not in like a not in like a gory sort of way. Like, it's not like there's a lot of stabbing. I'm gonna be honest.
But it's not as if it's red everywhere.
Yeah, it's not like Kill Bill with like blood like flying all over the place. But it's so good. And
so is it comedic?
No, it's not. But yet,
comedic.
But also like they sort of have like a buddy, like a buddy cop kind of vibe where it's like enemies to friends, but like they're still enemies. Like, so it's like they grudgingly like each other, but they also hate each other still at the end. And it is absolutely fantastic. Like, it's so much fun. I had a really good time. It's apparently like critically acclaimed. Like, it screened at Cannes, and yeah, like, and it's really fun. It was a really fun time. In some places it's on Netflix, not in Canada, but it is on Viki, so it doesn't, And apparently on some places it's on Tubi as well, according to my drama list. But it is really good if you like that sort of movie.
And who plays the like cop?
So the cop is played by Kim Woo-yeol, who you may know from the sequel to Bad Guys. He was the cop in Bad Guys, City of Evil.
Does he have cop face?
He got a little bit of cop face. He got a little bit of cop face. And it's one of those ones where, like, the serial killer's not, like, a secret. So it's not like, oh, one of them is secretly like, no, he's just a dude that makes a big mistake picking Ma Dong-suk as a victim. Like, so he's played by Kim Sung-gyu, who was in Kingdom. He played the weaselly little archer dude in Kingdom. You know who I mean.
You say that, and I picture him in my mind. I know exactly.
You know exactly who I mean. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even have to get to Archer. It was like weaselly little. I was like,
yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It's not like so over the top violent that like I think like you guys could watch it and be totally fine. Like it's, light stabbing violence.
So you really enjoyed a movie, which means maybe more movies
maybe
are in
more
your
movies.
future. Maybe that'll be a part of your
I don't like dislike movies. I just prefer investing a sick amount of my time into things. So I will, it's not that I don't like movies, it's that I prefer long form entertainment. It's like I read standalone books, but I prefer books in a long series.
You prefer series?
Yeah. Like, I've read all of Wheel of Time 3 times. And if you're unfamiliar with the Wheel of Time books, imagine 13 of the longest books you've ever seen in your life. These books are so long that the original author died and Brandon Sanderson had to come in and finish them. Like, that's how long this book series is. But no, I prefer, like, the long formats,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
me and
One Piece, big fan. So yeah, that was my number one. Amanda, are you watching something else, perhaps?
I am. I sort of mentioned it in one of our episodes recently, just the fact that like Chinese dramas seem to like be dropping off about halfway for me. I get through the first story arc and then I'm done. So I needed a new C-drama, looked through my list of things that I've sort of bookmarked on YouTube, and there is this one came out this year called Smile to Life. And I'm like, yeah, that looks forgettable and fun. So let's give it a shot. So far, I'm quite liking it. It is about a young woman who has graduated college, studied to be a classic pianist, like a concert pianist, and started noticing she had like a tremor in her hand, went to the doctor to find out what it is. She has ALS. And so her concert pianist dreams have kind of fallen to the wayside, but she has not told her parents this because she doesn't want them to worry. She doesn't want them to be upset. She's like, right now it's not really affecting my life beyond the fact that I can't trust my hands to perform. So she takes odd jobs. She does, little things. She's a big, big fan of this idol who doesn't really have, he's sort of on a downturn in his career right now, but she just loves him. He's so musical. He plays his guitar, like he writes his own songs. She appreciates the music and the artistry of what he does. And they have an awkward meet cute when she's at the mall for something, buying a gift for her friend or something, and goes into the women's washroom, and this guy is in the stall next to her asking for toilet paper, and she's like, excuse me? And he's like, excuse you?
That isn't typical.
Like, why are you in the women's washroom? And he's like, basically, he had diarrhea and he just ran for a toilet. Like, he did
you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's forgivable.
I'm sorry, I'm not a perv. I had an emergency. I didn't know this was the women's, but please, can you give me some toilet paper?
Have pity on me.
She's like, okay, sure.
I'm having a bad day, okay?
And she's like, this still feels a little creepy. He's like, are you familiar with this singer? And she's like, yeah, I'm a super big fan. He's like, he's doing a concert tonight and I will give you a ticket to the concert. I have one right here if you will just give me some toilet paper. And she's like, okay, sounds fake, but still, I'd like that ticket. So she takes the ticket and leaves the bathroom. That night she shows up at the show. She's the only one there for him. There's like, he's the opening act for somebody else or something. And she's there with her light up sign, standing in the front row. Like everyone else is just ignoring him because it's kind of like in a bar sort of location. He does his performance, everything. Then this girl who's sort of I think she's just like a social media kind of famous person who's starting to have a singing career now, and they maybe used to date, but it's a little weird. She shows up to show him her support, and he's like, you could have supported me from the audience. Why'd you walk up on stage if it's about me, not about you, right? And then
questions. On
the stage behind him, they start showing this video of the girl from earlier walking out of the women's bathroom and him coming out afterwards. Ooh. And so it's a scandal now, right? Oh, you're having trysts in the bathroom with,
Who would reveal a scandal during a performance, though? What the crap?
This girl did it. This woman has paparazzi that she's paid to follow him around, so that because she's hoping, like, this is exactly what she was hoping for. He would have a scandal and then he would need her to like
fix it,
pull him out, oh no, we're actually dating, that wasn't, that's not what it looked like, or something, right? Instead he's like, this isn't what it looks like, I'm not going to explain myself to you all, bye. And he goes backstage. Well, this girl has already gone backstage to get his autograph, and so now they catch them together. So anyway, long story short, what happens is her manager goes to her, or his manager goes to her and says, listen, we're in a thing right now, so what I want to do is hire you on as his assistant, so that then we can say that's why you were backstage, that's why you were like, you're his assistant.
That's a good cover up, actually.
That is a pretty good cover up.
But
clever.
They go and take like promo photos of the two of them together, and there's a slip and fall catch moment.
Oh boy!
That these paparazzi get, and so they're like, "Oh, she's your assistant," and so he basically comes out. They have a press conference. He comes out and says, and they talk to her about it beforehand. She knows all this is going on. Yes, she's my assistant. She was hired as my assistant, and we fell in love.
Oh,
is what it is.
Contract marriage. Do. You're speaking my language right now. The show is speaking my language.
Right? So it's so, and when she negotiates her contract, like, this is just the first couple episodes, when she negotiates her contract, she's like, okay, so I need money, but I can't go to my parents and just give them this money. Her dad's like a chef or something, and he's going through some sort of monetary, wants to buy out the restaurant, or I don't know. She's like, so my family needs money, but I can't just magically show up with like the money that my dad needs. So what I want you to do is, instead of paying me, you will go tell my dad that you're a huge fan of his cooking and offer to invest in his restaurant. And the manager's like, you know what? I can do that for you. So
that's clever. That's clever.
And then there's like,
the little twist.
This seems nice. It seems like a nice drama.
Okay, when you talk nice, her best friend works for a tabloid, and when these pictures get dropped and it gets leaked that they're dating and all this stuff, she sees the picture, and you think this is the moment, right, where the friend turns evil, and she's gonna be like, I can't believe you let somebody else have that information before you told me, or whatever. She looks at this picture. She had just resigned from her tabloid because she doesn't think she can do the job well enough. She sees this picture and goes, I have to go back and get my resignation letter before the boss sees it. And the guy she's with is like, why? And she's like, because I know this isn't true, and my friend is going to need me on her side with access to media right now with this going on. She can't, like, this is too much for her to battle alone. So I need to keep working for the tabloids so that I can protect her.
Mm.
Like, you're like, oh, thank you, drama, for like not doing that thing where like
Suddenly,
friends
someone's
suddenly
a bitch for no reason.
Right. It's always something like if there's a reason for a character to be a certain way, but when it's like
Yeah.
from left field, no reason.
Just like for no reason. So this is on YouTube, you said?
Yeah, I'm watching it on YouTube. It's apparently also on Viki. It's also on WeTV.
It's one of those.
Kukan, I guess, Kukan show, and I think they have a streaming service as well, but they have it on their YouTube channel. So
is it
and
done
the subs are
airing or done?
reasonable.
Is it done airing?
Yes, it's
Nice.
completed, so you can just binge
You
away.
can enjoy it over the holiday season if you so desire. Very nice. Sky, what else did you find on your Netflix history?
Well, that was it for my Netflix history.
Oh,
I mean,
that's fair. That's fair.
Aside from, okay, I'll go ahead and talk about my main one. Alchemy of Souls. I had purposefully, on some level, I had purposefully put it off. I'm not sure I meant to put it off as much as I did down to the wire of the new part 2 coming out last weekend. I meant to pick it up prior to that again, but that didn't happen. So, I did a huge binge, for me, what is considered a huge binge. And I hadn't stayed up until 5 a.m. watching a drama in years, and yet that is what I accomplished. And so I did that, and I was able... I didn't push through to, like, part 2 at my binge. I binged until half of the last episode of part 1, so then I could sleep a little bit. And then I watched the rest of... So the first 2 episodes of part 2 and all that. So, because I didn't want to be stuck on a cliffhanger. And when I say I fell in love with this show, I really, really did. I will say this about it, though. So, like, if you're somebody that, for instance, loves... part of the reason you maybe love Kingdom is because it never breaks character or tone. It always is, like, serious the entire time. That is not Alchemy of Souls. Do not go into Alchemy of Souls thinking it's going to be serious the whole time, because it is not. And that continues. Now, I will say it does get darker as far as the story machinations and stuff. It does get darker as it gets further in season 1 and as you start season 2. But even then, the characters are still very much the silly characters that you've seen do other silly stuff. So... And you even have entire side couples that are comedic, and every time they show up, they're comedic. So, yeah, that's what you're dealing with. I don't think it breaks tone in a bad way. I think it's really fun. In fact, so then I watched the whole thing. Then I showed my husband the trailer. I thought he'd maybe be kind of interested just because of the cool CGI and magic stuff. That's really what I thought would get him. Usually historicals are a no-no unless it's something like Kingdom with like, hey, zombies, and you can kind of get over that historical hump a little bit. And I'm going to be honest I haven't had success with recommending my husband a drama that he was truly, truly interested in a very long time. Usually he'll watch a few episodes with me and then we just don't get around to finishing it together. All that to say, Alchemy of Souls, he has been binging it this past couple of days. Yeah,
it's different. Got it.
He's really enjoyed it. So, like, he really liked the comedic parts too. So, on top of the CGI and things like that, he's really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really recommend it. He likes it so much that, like, he's watching the behind the scenes without subtitles. That has never happened before. So, I'm just really happy that we found some, not only do I really enjoy it and I'm enjoying that, but like, it's nice that he's liking it as well that much. And he's just really getting a big kick out of it. So,
nice.
I mean, I recommend it to a lot of people. I'm just saying, if people don't kind of like that dual tonality.
Yeah.
That some K-dramas are kind of known to have, that's definitely... Alchemy of Souls leans into that. And to where all of a sudden there's a poop joke or whatever. Like, if that's not your jam...
It's very much a Hong Sisters drama. Like...
Yes. Like, that's...
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Very, very that. I think there's some really good twists. Can you maybe suspect some things? Sure. But like, I'm having a really good time with it. So, and in case you don't know, part 1 or season 1, whatever you want to call it, part 1 is 20 episodes, and it does hit around like an hour 10, an hour 15 each episode. Part 2 is only going to be 10 episodes. Also, if you're curious about the casting change, I'm not going to spoil anything. Just trust me that the casting change makes story sense.
Yep, makes narrative sense.
They even like explicitly pretty much explain why. Do I have proof that the actors knew this going in? No, it's not like they wrote that somewhere. As far as how I've seen in interviews and how I think they filmed it, I think everyone knew going in, this is the way those roles were supposed to function. So because it's not like
a Bewitched Darren situation.
Right.
No.
This is a soul switching show. Thus, these things happen sometimes. So, that's that. But I really do enjoy it. It's on Netflix. If you want to go watch some fun stuff, The Swoon does have a couple of like games that the main cast is playing. Netflix Korea has a couple of fun interviews. They've done a lot of stuff together. They've even done some photo shoots and things like that. Some of the lead actors and actresses, like on their own YouTube channels, have a lot of production diary type stuff where they show what they were up to. So that's if fun. You get really into it, there's a lot of stuff that you can go check out. Some of it's subbed, some of it's not. I will say a lot of the personal YouTube channels, they are subtitled usually, so that's really cool. Oh, one little Easter egg that this ruins absolutely nothing, but the fact that it took me so long to figure out is funny. So there is a part where they're in like a entertainment space, and there is a song going on, and the Swoon has a clip of this, like if you just want to see this clip in particular. The song is Dolphin by Oh My Girl, which was like the
hit
earworm bop of last year, essentially, I think. And so, but it's done in that Santouri,
Pansori sort of.
Pansori, yeah.
It's really good. It's like a really good cover.
So that just cracked me up so much. But then what took me a long time to figure out was, oh my gosh, one of the lead, there's 4 main like heirs to the families and stuff. The girl, she's in Oh My Girl. So yeah, that's why they use that song. Like,
I do.
Because I was trying to make sure that my husband understood the song, because I made him watch, like, here's the original song, here's this song. And I was like, wait. I knew that girl was a K-pop idol. I forgot to connect the dots. I was like, plus, even behind the scenes that I had watched, people would be like, oh my girl this, oh my girl that. I'm like, that's cute that everyone likes Oh My Girl. Well, duh, that would be why. So
it's okay. It's okay.
So you don't make yourself a fool. Be aware that
Listen, you could have said nothing. Here, we should applaud Sky right now, because she could have said nothing and pretended that she knew all along, but she is being brave and admitting to us.
Well, I guess that's always been my. I'm fine saying like, look, I didn't recognize this off the bat.
Like, if you don't listen to Oh My Girl, why would you know?
Well. What I'm ashamed of is, like, I can't even remember which of my groups was promoting it at the exact same time Oh My Girl was promoting that song right when it was starting to be popular. I watched live music shows with that freaking song as they were sweeping the awards. Of course. So the fact that I actually have probably seen her perform a lot and I didn't connect the dots with that is kind of shameful. But I've remedied it. I now know. Now you know. You, the listener, know.
I mean, to be fair to you, depending on when that was, like, sometimes you do that thing where you stay up until the middle of the night to, like, watch things live. You might have just been tired.
Listen, benefit of the doubt going down today.
And I will say, I really like that song. It's one of those things that, and I never get, like, rare about, oh, whoever's up against my group. I'm never like that about it. But at first I was like, that song, I'm getting really tired of that song because it was played all the time. And I was like, okay, it really is a bop. So go check out Dolphin by Oh My Girl. It's cute.
It is. It's a bop. It's a bop. So okay, I've been watching a licorn. Now, if you're familiar about what licorns are, they're basically Thai soap operas. They're very over the top. Think like kimchi slap type over the top nonsense. And I'm watching this one. It just started recently. I'm rubbing my eyes right now because I don't even know where to go with this because it is so ludicrous. And I'll tell you why it's ludicrous. So it's called You Are My Makeup Artist. And basically the plot is there's this like model celebrity, like it's sort of unclear why she's a celebrity, but she they only show her doing modeling. Like it starts out with her like her mother has just died and her, you know, they're heading to like go to like spread her ashes on the ocean, and then she gets a call from her fiance, and her fiance's like, "Oh, I got really held up at work, like I can't come to spread your mother's ashes, like I'm so sorry." And meanwhile she's there with like her assistant and her friend and her makeup artist. And her makeup artist is the one who like helps her spread the ashes. You find out later that they grew up together because he like lived in her house. So then you find out that the fiance was not caught up at work, but he's been like just fooling around with anyone he meets. Like he is just a philanderer. Okay. And then she finds out about it and she's like, "Oh, I cannot believe this is happening." Like, unbelievable. So then she gets drunk with her makeup artist and they end up doing the do. And then she gets pregnant. And he's like, "I love you. Let's get married and we can raise this baby together." Like, this is kismet, okay? It's a bit trashier than that, but like, okay. Anyway, and she's like, "But you're gay." Okay, this is where I feel like the show could be making a good point, but it's really like missing on the good point. He's never done anything gay. Like, he's just a dude who washes his ass and wears coordinating clothing.
And is a makeup artist.
And he's a makeup artist. Like, he's never dated men. He's never expressed interest in men, but everyone's like, "Oh, you're gay." She's like, "Oh, we can't, you know, get married because everyone will make fun of me for marrying a gay man," when obviously like it's just because I'm mad that like my fiance got this other girl pregnant or whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, what? And she's like, "Okay, I'll marry you if you can like prove to the world that you're not gay." And I'm like, how does
one do that?
How does one prove a negative?
Beyond getting
married to a woman after getting her pregnant. And
but also how rude is it, like,
this show is not very politically correct, I'm gonna be real.
How rude is it to be like, you know, he you said he confessed feelings, like, I love
he's been in love with her for years, okay?
So he confessed feelings and she immediately is like, "We can't get married because you're gay."
Yeah, because not only do I think you're gay, everyone thinks you're gay, because he has like a very popular like YouTube channel where he does like makeup looks and like makeup advice and stuff. And everyone's like,
so
"Oh,
literally
like
it's like, you're expressing your love to me, but you are gay." It's like,
it doesn't like he could be bi, we don't know, but like in the context of the show, he's never been gay. Like and it's like the only reason everyone thinks he's gay is because he dresses nice and is clean and has
he's a
earrings.
Makeup artist. Because he's a makeup artist.
And as a makeup artist, like, that's not like a gay only profession. Like this, so it's literally, it's so ludicrous and it's so, but I cannot stop myself. And I just have to, I'm like 6 episodes in and I just have to relay this scene because I was laughing so hard throughout the entire thing because so we do eventually, like, I'm not even giving anything. So much happens in the show, but nothing happens at the same time. We make it to, like, this wedding that's happening, right? And it's, like, just their closest friends there and a photographer. This photographer is very important because this made me laugh so hard. And then like the ex-fiance like busts in to be like, how dare you marry this gay man? He uses some slurs, but he's a bad guy, so that's helping that he's bad, you know, like by being being homophobic towards this not gay man. He's like, oh, you're, you know, just because like I got another woman pregnant, you're gonna like marry a gay man? And it's just like, sir. But he's like ruining this wedding, like he's like breaking shit and stuff. Meanwhile, in the background, you just see the like actor playing the photographer just continuing to take photos, and I was just like, that would be me. That would be me in this scene, just in the background, like, oh shit, I gotta get this all like, yes, absolutely. And I was just like,
getting good angles on,
like, I was laughing so, because like they had like in the scene, like every time the actor would actually take a photo, like a flash would go off, so you would continue to have like camera flash happening. I was like, this is the funniest shit I have ever seen. The leads have no chemistry whatsoever. She's downright mean to him.
So why are you watching it?
I don't know, but like I can't stop. It's like a train wreck. Like anyway, it's fine. Like it's so ridiculous. And
so Alicorn, I'm curious about, like, do Licorns have unique like lighting or anything? Like, can you tell
like a soap opera
that it looks like a soap opera?
I don't know if like all Licorns share this, like, but this one looks like what you would expect it to look like. if you know what I mean.
Because I think that's an interesting thing. Because, you know, just like Korean soap operas, they might not have the exact same. They might not have the exact same markers as, say, like a Western soap opera, like, oh, it kind of looks cloudy or whatever. Like, it might not have the same cloudiness, but there's other production markers that, like, oh, this is a soap opera. So
I would say that like the filming quality is very similar to like a Korean daily, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like the soft focus like Days of Our Lives thing, but it's like, it's very much like, we're not going for cinematic excellence, we're going for
shock
tawdry plot development. It is something.
How many episodes is there?
So far, let's see. Are
Licorns usually super long? Like, how do they usually do?
Not necessarily. I am on episode 6, and so far there's like 10 episodes out, and I think there's only going to be 16.
Oh,
but it is. Oh boy, it is it's something. Like,
do you recommend it?
Okay, here's like, for the sheer absurdity, sure. But like, if you want to watch an actual like quality show with endearing characters, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm having fun.
It has entertainment value to you.
Yes, to me personally. And like, the amount of times that I'm just sitting here like, why does everyone assume this, like, he's and I feel like the show is really missing. It could be making like a broader social point that
like it could actually be really cool.
You can't really be assuming people's sexuality based on their aesthetics, but it's like not doing that at all. And I was just like, oh, this is something. I hope the actors are getting paid very well. That's all I have to say.
I mean, listen, these days, with what we know of different production, just hoping they get paid, period.
Yeah. It's Channel 3, so I imagine they probably are getting paid, but oh boy. It's something. It's something.
It's a show.
It's a show, and I'm watching it, and I'm laughing.
Hey,
so
you know what? If you're being entertained, then what more can you ask for, really?
Yeah.
If your entertainment is entertaining you,
even if it's not entertaining you in the way that the show meant to entertain you, you're still being entertained. So
right.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So Amanda, what's your third thing that you're watching for today?
Well, I had wanted to watch this. It aired back in like April, and I wanted to watch it, but it was one of those Disney
classic capers.
So, but Disney has
Released it.
a whole handful of Korean content. So, actually, it was weird because when I found it, I was like, I didn't realize it was what it was, because Disney has it under its Korean name, the name that it. So you might know it as Love All Play, which is how everybody talks about it, how it was like hashtagged and all this stuff. But the Korean name and the name it's on Disney Canada under is Going to You at the Speed of 493 kilometers.
Wow.
So I kind of understand why they went with Love All Play.
Yeah.
Fair. But that actually has something to do with it's a sports drama. It's about badminton, and 493 kilometers seems extremely fast, but that's the unofficial record for the fastest like badminton smash or something like that. For so that's where it comes from.
You think for brevity's sake they would have?
Yeah. So Love All Play is a story about this girl who she was like a hotshot youth player. She made the national team, and 3 years ago there was a scandal. She and her roommate both like basically quit badminton and disappeared, and nobody knows why, and there's a big rumor. So because she quit and disappeared, she was nowhere to defend her name, defend herself, nothing. What everybody in the badminton world believes is that she was caught bribing judges for, is it in, is it out, that kind of thing. So she was caught bribing judges for her win, and she took off before the scandal could explode. And so they didn't, they swept it. The reason why it hasn't been prosecuted or come out in any official circles is because she left quietly, so they just swept it under the rug. The reason why it hasn't come out is because that never happened. She never did anything like that. There is sort of a controversy, and it's something she feels guilty about, and it has to do with her roommate and why her roommate's not playing badminton anymore. But I'm like 3-4 episodes in, and I still don't know exactly, like I kind of know it, but I still don't understand why it's a scandal. Like I know what the thing is that sort of catalysts it, but I don't know why she feels so guilty, and like the other people who know hate her so much over it is weird. So she's come back. The only team that will take her or even look at her is this professional team that's basically like, the owner is like, I don't care. To be honest, nobody watches badminton. Nobody cares about badminton.
You know what? He's right.
He's like,
right.
Basically, this is my sort of charity tax write-off that I run this team, and also it makes me look good. So I don't really care whether my players are actually good badminton players or if they just have real good star power and draw tickets. And this girl, I can get her cheap because nobody else wants her, and people will pay to come watch her play because A, she was a darling, and B, there's controversy. So I don't care. She can be on the team.
Win for them.
Right? Now, the captain of their team hates her guts and is basically leading all the rest of the team to ostracize her and treat her like crap. Now, the guy who's the main male lead, he was on a team like the City Run or the Seoul National, I don't know, some team, like it's not the Nationals, but it's like a pretty good team. And he was on this team. He quits. I'm done. I'm tired of badminton. I'm tired of always being second fiddle. I'm tired, you basically find out he's very, very good, but he's never really pushed himself the way he could because his older sister was this roommate who was the best in the country, and he always played second fiddle in his parents' mind, right? So he doesn't push himself because in his mind, no matter how good he is, he's never as good as her. So like, why bother trying? Because my parents aren't going to care anyway. So I'll just be good enough to get a paycheck. That's all I'm looking for. And then when he finds out that she has joined this team, they knew each other when they were kids. He's actually the one who scouted her out in a sense. So he finds out she joined this team. He's like, they will pay me. I could get a paycheck over there, so I will go work for this team too. And it's cute. They show a little scene of like how he discovered her. Was like he was coming out of the badminton training facility or whatever and saw her stealing bikes. She lived with her grandmother. She was an orphan who lived with her grandmother. She didn't have enough food or enough anything. And so she would steal bikes and whatever, sell them so that she could have food. And he catches her, and then he pours out like a badminton court in the dirt and says, all right, you play me, and if you win, I'll let you go free. And if I win, I'm going in to tell them that I caught you stealing bikes. And she's never picked up a racket before. But they play, and like he's beating her, but she manages to hold her own to some extent. And he's here to like, because he's a genius, he's here to be trained by like a gold medalist and all this stuff. And they, his parents and the coach come out, and he grabs her when she goes to run away. And you think he's going to be like, I caught this girl because he beat her. And what he says is, this girl is a freaking genius. You have to have her train with you. And so the coach adopts her, and like she becomes a badminton star. And she's like, initially she just did it because they offered to feed her. Like, you can live in the dorm and we'll feed you 3 times a day. And she's like, okay, I'll play badminton then. And then she really, really loves it. So
I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Does it really like emphasize the sexy, fast-paced nature of the badminton world adequately as it so deserves? Is my own question.
Badminton to me is not sexy and fast.
Exactly.
Yes, it does.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, I was being extremely sarcastic. The sexiest thing about badminton is what the thing is called.
They call it love all play, and there is a lot of romantic plot lines, side characters and stuff. I almost, when I very first started it, about halfway through the first episode, I was like, oh, like, because there is a guy who is the absolute worst. He's just a jerk. He knows he's the best, and he's great, and he's just terrible. And you're like, that's going to be the actual male lead, isn't it? It's not going to be this nice puppy that is sweet and good at it and wants like a team to feel like a team and looks out for his teammate. It's not going to be him. He's going to be the second lead, isn't he? Because this is Korea and that's what they like. But no, the sweet, nice guy is the male lead. And
good to know.
Good to know. Guy has actually got some pretty good reasons for being terrible. And there's a different girl that is helping him to be not terrible. And that, like,
reinforcing the old chestnut that all mean men need is a woman to fix them.
Yeah, well,
such a healthy classic trope.
So it's cute. I just find it cute. It's the badminton stuff in it is good, and interesting.
For the sexy, fast-paced,
heavy on it. Like, so, the episodes are too long. They should be shorter episodes, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'm enjoying it right now. It's a little rough to watch because they're so mean to her, and she doesn't deserve how mean they are to her. Because
listen, no one really. It's rare that these characters on these shows actually deserve how mean people are to them.
Sort of the terrible part is that she lets them treat her bad, and because she feels guilty about this thing that happened 3 years ago, she feels like she deserves it, even though she doesn't. So she just lets people keep, and so that's where this puppy comes in. He keeps going like, no, people can't treat you like that. Like, I don't care. Even if whatever you did was like, even if you ate babies, I don't care. They don't know that you did that, so they can't treat you like this. Like, this is terrible. So he keeps trying to get their team to like be a team and play like a team, and I like that. So
and that's on Disney Plus in Canada, and I assume probably Hulu in the States. Maybe.
How many episodes in are you, Amanda?
4, I think, and there's 16. So,
Sky, I know you may be out of dramas, but I know you've been watching something else because you and I talk.
So I am out of dramas, and I will say, and I'm not sure I explained earlier, the reason I probably have actually been watching way more Asian drama hours this month because of my binging of Alchemy of Souls. A binge and a half. I'm now rewatching halfway through again with my husband. So like, that's a lot of hours compared to even my typical. But so that's just why there haven't been time for any other show, because I've been busy with Alchemy of Souls. However, Dimension 20, which I've discussed before, I won't go back over all of that. Dimension 20 is a actual play role-playing Dungeons and Dragons thing on Dropout is what the app is called. So they have a new season out. It came out a couple weeks back. It's called Neverwhere, and it is fairy tales and it is horror themed.
So fun.
And I will say it is very horror themed, but it's the exact cast as Fantasy High, and they're still silly. They still have silly moments.
They have so much fun.
It's just that the game master doesn't allow it to stay fun. You know, like there can be a funny exchange, and then it's like, okay, that was funny, but now we're gonna go be horror again. So like, you have your moments still, which I was kind of surprised, and I think they do behind the scenes like after show stuff too, and so the first one Brennan pretty much admitted, he's like, I didn't know that this was still going to be as funny. Well, it's them. It's funny. Them. That's the way it's going to be. But it's interesting. I will say, I didn't expect the cast of characters that they have. So, like, I wouldn't have expected, like, Pinocchio and Lou Wilson, who voices that. He's doing a very high-pitched Pinocchio voice, and it's very funny. Puss in Boots, who is just very cute cat the whole time, just being a cat, which is funny. So, in the backdrop of this horror stuff, you have freaking Pinocchio and Puss in Boots getting into trouble doing stuff, which is just hilarious to me. So it's a good time. I did not watch this week's yet because it's a big battle, and I think that might extend on to the next episode. So I'm probably going to wait a little bit because I didn't want to get caught, because I'm trying to be smart about my cliffhangers with things, just like I did with Alchemy of Souls. So it pays off sometimes if you can wait. I'm going to be eating my hat later, I'm sure, with Island whenever that comes out. So
yeah.
I think the only reason I was able to do it with Alchemy of Souls is I also got busy too in life. That's the only reason that actually happened. It's just that I'm saying I was smart about it when reality, like, I just got busy.
You just forgot.
But
smart,
so, like,
forgetful, same difference. Don't worry about it.
If you are interested in the Neverwhere stuff, you can find like the trailers and stuff on YouTube. But as far as watching the actual thing, it is a Dropout subscription thing. So,
which I do recommend Dropout. Like they have good
really
content over there.
But I do think, aside from Fantasy High being free on YouTube, I think The Unsleeping City is also free on YouTube. So like you can even get like a few campaigns worth for free. Go see if that's the type of thing you might dig. So yeah.
So, speaking of Disney finally releasing onto the world dramas. So in Canada, Disney Plus they're just like, we're going to stop gatekeeping K-dramas entirely in Canada. Here you go. Have them. And just like a bunch of them appeared.
Yeah.
All at once. So like I've been working my way through them. And I've been watching Big Mouth. What a wild show.
I've been
an
curious about that one.
absolutely wild show. So you're presented this very nice couple where the husband, played by Lee Jong Suk, is a bit of a loser. Like he's a lawyer, but not a very good one. Who like talks a big game but can never deliver because he's just not good at his job. Okay, he's not like stupid. He's not. It's not like he's just things don't work out for him. Okay, and his father-in-law is his like office manager, and his father-in-law fucking loves him. Like they're like besties. Meanwhile, you then meet his wife, played by Yuna, who's a nurse, and she is so cool, but so done with him because he keeps like losing them money, right? But like, despite the fact that she's always like pissed at him, you can tell that she also loves him, right? Even though he is a loser. So anyway, he gets a call from this like a mayor of one of the districts, okay, and he's like, yeah, come, you gotta come meet me. After losing this case that like he promised his wife he would win because he got scammed out of money in a crypto scam, and so was suing the company, and the case all goes wrong, okay? So he's like, oh fuck, like I can't go home, like my wife is gonna kill me, and his father-in-law's like, you cannot come home, like she's gonna kill us that we lost this case, like she's gonna murder the two of us because we promised her that we would get that money back. So he then gets a call from this like dude who's like, yeah, I'm the mayor of this district, and meet me at this like secluded location. And he shows up and he's like, I want to hire you as the lawyer in this like high profile murder trial where these like three chaebols murder like were like crashed their car, and there was a dead doctor in the back of the car. And he's like, why the fuck would you want to hire me? I suck. He's like, yeah, we already have the case already planned. Everyone paid off. We literally just need a front man to like be in court to like present everything we've already laid out for you. We will pay you well for this. And he's like, this is kind of against my morals, but my wife is going to kill me if I don't like get us out of debt. And like, we got like loan sharks and shit. So like, fine, I'll do it. Suddenly, after he agrees to take this case and he meets the dudes who are in prison, like awaiting trial, suddenly he gets arrested. Like, okay, he like gets in his car and he's drinking this like iced coffee that like someone gave him, and he like suddenly has like a drug trip and like crashes his car, and he's in the hospital. And then when he like wakes up after surgery and he's like getting discharged, the police show up and they're like, you're under arrest because we've discovered proof like in your lawyer's office that you are this infamous underground character known as Big Mouse, like the rodent Big Mouse. And he's like, a big who? Like, what are you possibly talking about? And his wife and father-in-law are like, excuse me? And they're like, yeah, we found like hundreds of kilograms of like meth in your office and like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he's like, no, what? No. So he's
not smart enough to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So he ends up in prison, but then he is not stupid. So he very quickly realizes that the only way he's going to survive prison is if he actually pretends to be this guy.
Yeah.
Because everyone is scared of this guy. It's fucking wild. And meanwhile, his wife is like trying to like prove his innocence outside, and he's in prison. Like, so you have like on one half you have all like the prison, this totally dystopian awful prison, right, with like everyone who runs it is corrupt, like just terrible, like prisons are. And then you've got his wife just reaching just endless dead ends on the outside because no one wants to help her because they're like, oh, you're married to this like infamous like underground figure. And she's like, I love my husband, but he's too fucking stupid to be this guy. Like,
There's literally no way.
There's literally absolutely no way. And then there's like this rich dude who is looking for this guy because this guy like stole millions of dollars from him. Right? And so it's like all like getting mixed up. It's really good. I'm only like 6 episodes in and I am intrigued.
It looks really tense. Like, does it feel pretty tense as you watch it?
It's pretty tense. And there are like funny moments, but the funny moments are mostly just Lee Jong-suk being stupid, like his character just being stupid, and then very quickly that fails for him every time. So he's getting smarter as the show goes on, as it's sort of like a Breaking Bad progression where like he has to become increasingly more immoral in order to not be murdered in prison. It's really good. Like, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really glad that I can now enjoy it because Disney Plus said, "Here you go."
And I think it's on Hulu in the States, it looks like.
I think it is on Hulu in the States.
According to NBL, at least.
I'm very much so enjoying it. It has Kwak Dong-yeon in it. And I just love him. He's a delight. He plays like Lee Jung-suk's little minion in prison who truly believes that this is the infamous Big Mouse of his, and he's gonna be his number 2. I have my but like we're also led to believe that someone in the prison is actually Big Mouse, and I have my suspicions.
That was actually like when you started talking about. I'm like, my main concern would be the actual person.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't want to cross them.
But like this would be perfect for the actual person, right? To like have a fall guy, right? But I'm really intrigued as to seeing where I have my suspicions as to who it might be. But this could be like a false herring. Like,
But that's nice. That's nice that they keep it a mystery. Like that makes it more exciting.
Yeah, so it's like listen, I always have I've watched a lot of these shows, this sort of thing. So it's like, inevitably, I have, when I'm watching it, I'm like, could be that guy. Could be that guy. And they also go into like, the other prisoners talking, like when he first shows up, they're like speculating, is he? And there's like, no, I heard Big Mouse was like this, big dude with a giant rat tattooed on his back. And like, oh, I heard Big Mouse was actually a woman, like the cruelest dominatrix you've ever met. And you're just like, okay, like who the fuck is this person? So anyway, it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. It does get a little stabby. So I've been watching a lot of stabby stuff lately. So like, and it's so bizarre to me because it's on Disney Plus. None of the knives are blurred, and I was so taken aback for a second. I was like, oh right, they wouldn't have to on Disney Plus. Like, you wouldn't have to blur the knives if it wasn't being broadcast everywhere on Korean television, because I don't think it was. Like, anyway, it was an NBC drama, so maybe when it was on Korean television they blurred them, but they do not on Canadian Disney Plus. So I was like, oh,
shocking.
The shock. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's good so far. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes shows lose steam, but we'll see. So before we end, I know that I have a bunch of other stuff that I am also watching, but is there anything else that you're watching you want to quickly let people know? Yay or nay, Amanda?
I'm still watching The Love in Your Eyes daily. Love it. Like, I am on top of this one. Like, I won't say I watch every episode as it comes out because they're only half-hour episodes. But usually I'm like, the weekend hits and I watch all 5. Like, and
every episode's a cliffhanger because I watch it every day.
So it's so, and it's so good in that sense where they don't seem to be drawing stuff out too long.
Yeah,
like
they you think they will.
And you're like, oh god, they're gonna drag this out for like 3 weeks. No, like maybe max 3 episodes, and then it gets, and you're like, thank you, because that was going to get real annoying real fast. You know, like they're just giving you just enough and then moving on. And you're like, thank you. I appreciate it. And they're cute. And I just like everybody. And it's fine. It's all good. Also, still watching Three Bold Siblings. Is it the best family weekender I've ever watched? No. Is it getting the job done? Yes. So it's also cute.
Anything else?
Christmas movies. Lots and lots of Christmas movies.
Listen, it's the season for people who
And,
enjoy that sort of thing.
You know, British mysteries. I started watching Queens of Mystery. It's about a girl who was orphaned when she was 3 and raised by her 3 aunts who are all single and write crime novels. Like, individually, they're all crime novelists. And now she's a police officer. And her crime novelist aunts help her solve murder mysteries.
That sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
So fun. It's very, very fun.
Sky, I feel like you got nothing else.
I mean, I should have added up all the hours of Alchemy of Souls so I could tell you how many hours I spent.
Well, listen, it would be many. It would be many. Days
no,
worth.
I don't have anything else. Alchemy of Souls brain. That's all I got.
TikToks. You watch TikToks, and I know because we send each other TikToks.
Yes, short form, super short form,
very short form, very short form. To no one's surprise, I've been watching a bunch of shit. I've been watching the C-drama She and Her Perfect Husband on WeTV, but it's also on Viki. But I was watching it on WeTV, so that's where I've just continued watching it because it's kept track of where I am in it. Really enjoying it.
I keep meaning to start that one.
It's a show about sexism towards women.
What genre is it?
It's like a rom-com.
Okay.
Where basically she's a lawyer who has to pretend that she has a husband.
Oh, there we go.
To like advance.
That's what got you. That's what.
Yeah, to advance in her legal career, and meanwhile, so she's been pretending to have a husband for years who like works in Canada in finance. Like, ooh, my husband lives in Canada. Don't worry about it. And meanwhile, there's like a guy who has no desire to have a career or anything, whose mom is like, you need to get fucking married. Like, I'm tired of this. So, contract marriage.
Woo.
Exactly. And he's like the best husband on the face of the planet. Like, the chef's kiss, stay-at-home husband. Just perfection. I'm also watching a J-drama called My Cuteness is About to Expire, and the reason I started watching it was because it stars the guy who plays Edward in the Full Metal Alchemist live-action movies, which everyone should watch the Full Metal Alchemist live-action movies on Netflix. They're incredible. You don't even have to like the anime or the manga to understand it. They explain everything. Anyway, he's in it, and it's about a dude who is really successful at his job, mostly because he's good looking and everyone finds him cute. But then his self from the future, who is not a cute old man, comes back and is like, your cuteness has an expiration date, so you better get some substance.
Nice.
And then he gets paired with like a woman who has sort of a robotic demeanor, and romance ensues. I'm watching Oh My Assistant in 15-minute increments because that's how long the episodes are. It's surprisingly close to the manga so far, but like it hasn't gotten to the point where the manga turns real spicy. So like I'm actually still intrigued as to
what they're gonna do with that.
Because like so far it's been surprisingly like it's humorously spicy, but it's been very close to the manhwa. So, speaking of spicy, I've also been watching 609 Bedtime Story. I need to watch this week's episode, which is on WeTV. It's Omfluke's new dimension loop, time loop. It's a very confusing concept where like a guy goes to sleep in his apartment and he wakes up in the same apartment but in like an alternate universe where another guy lives there, and like so every time he's going backwards in that guy's time. So like the first time he meets him, the next time it's like the day before that. Like, it's
Oh gosh.
anyway, um, romance ensues. I'm
Is it
continuing.
good?
So far, the first 2 episodes are really good.
Okay.
So I'm really intrigued. There's like a murder mystery. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening. So we shall see how it goes. It's just started, so it's very early. I'm continuing Between Us, still liking it. Continuing my Tooth Your Love, still liking it. Been watching Connect, really liking it. I'm almost done that. I've got like 2 more episodes left. But I didn't want to use it as my thing because I feel like there may be
Jesse might have a
special
thing.
episode.
Murder subunit.
The murder unit may be coming back sooner than you think. I've also been watching the C-drama Monsieur in Wonderland on iQIYI, which is an isekai where she gets in a car accident and then wakes up as the villain character in the novel she was reading while she got into the car accident.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I love that nonsense. And finally, I'm watching this J-drama. I was telling Sky about it. It is the most unhinged thing I've seen in a while. It's called Yakuza Lover. It's based on a manga, and I've read the manga, which is why when I saw, and the manga is just smut, okay? It's just pure on smut. With like light sprinklings of smut-related plot about like a college girl who falls in love with a Yakuza and sexual shenanigans ensue. And I was like, how the hell are they making this into... And let me tell you, if you thought Coffee and Vanilla had some unhinged male leadery, it got nothing on the vibes of this show. This show is... what? Like, the speed at which this show moves is crazy.
I'm gonna have to watch it, and then we're gonna have a talk about, like, since I wouldn't have the background of...
Yeah. Like, it's definitely not as smutty as the manga is, because it's on television, so...
But remember when we watched Coffee and Vanilla, and it was very, like, what is happening? Like,
yeah,
we couldn't put our finger on, like, really what it was.
I feel like the guy, like, the male lead, he's a very good-looking dude, in, like, an oddly nerdy sort of way, but also buff.
He looks very
like
nerdy.
He's like very buff, like when he has his shirt off, but like his face is very like I am a computer programmer vibe. And I feel like he read the manga and was like, this guy's kind of a creep, because he's kind of a creep. So he's like playing it off as this like obsessive, intense creep, but like with a little bit of sexy, I guess, if you're into that. And then like the girl is great. Like everyone's doing
what they should.
What they're supposed to be doing. But it's such an unhinged show. It's... oh my god.
It just brings back memories of like
there's us really watching Coffee and Vanilla.
There's really no way to explain Coffee and Vanilla other than experiencing it. Like you can't really...
because it's like the speed at which like he meets her in like a bar where she's accidentally stumbled a bunch upon like a drug ring. This is in like the first 30 seconds. Like this moves at a wild pace. He like saves her from these drug dealers, her and her friend, and then like puts his coat on her. And then later she's like walking around with his coat in a bag because she's like, I don't know if I'll ever like see this Yakuza guy again, but I feel like I should return his coat. And her friend's like, I'm pretty sure you don't need to return the mobster's coat. Like, I feel like you can just get rid of the coat. She's like, no, that wouldn't be polite. So she sees him and she's like, I have your coat. And he's like, I was hoping we would meet again. Like,
oh gosh.
You're just like, whoa, like calm down, my guy. And then, then they're apparently immediately in love.
Insta love.
Instantly in love.
Insta obsessive love.
Yeah, like, but like they're equally obsessed with each other.
Sounds like so healthy.
It's so unhealthy. The theme song, though, is a bop. Like, And the filming wise, it's like well filmed and stuff, but it's just so insane. It's just, I was like, listen, the D can't be that good. There's no way. Like, there's no way. It's like, it can't be. It's not possible, girl. Like, anyway, and I'm also watching on YouTube. This is not Asian, but I do recommend it to anyone to go back to the beginning if you've never already seen it. There's a little show called Puppet History. It's on the Watcher channel, which are the people who do, like, they used to be on BuzzFeed. They did BuzzFeed Unsolved. It's Shane and Ryan. Except that Shane now has a series of puppets where, in the main puppet's called the Professor, where he has Ryan and another guest every episode to learn about some part of history and using puppetry to teach about historical facts. But it's unhinged in such a fun way, and it has like an overarching plot that's been going on for like multiple seasons now. If you've never watched Puppet, and at the end of every episode there's like a song with puppets about the history you just learned, but it's always the most unhinged, ridiculous song you've ever heard in your life.
So as someone who hasn't watched a lot of that, I think I've only watched one episode, and I don't know how it ended up like on my YouTube. Mm-hmm. I randomly just watched one about the plague. Like, yes, the puppet history about the plague was so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, my mom watched one episode. It was about the Great Emu War in Australia, and my mom was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Mom, this is puppet history. This is..." But if I were to pick a favorite episode, I would have to say the one about the worst Olympics in history. Just
so are they back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so they have a new season. It literally ends tomorrow as of the recording day, so like Friday, because we're recording on Thursday. But they've had like this really deranged overarching plot involving... The joke of it is that Ryan hates the professor, and so they've had... Well, the professor is a puppet who is teaching them history, and has like the puppet like died last season, but he's back anyway. It's I can't even, like, if I were to try to describe to someone who didn't watch Puppet History like the lore of Puppet History, I would sound like an insane person.
It's like, I would sound... you have to experience.
Yeah, so you have to like watch it and get into it, but it's really funny, and it's actually surprisingly informative.
Educational, yeah.
It's educational in an amusing way.
Like the plague one. It was fascinating. Like,
mm-hmm. There's another one he does about smallpox in the Revolutionary War. It's really quick, and they did it like during COVID, and about like people didn't want to get inoculated. Topical. So anyway, it's really good. It's on YouTube for free. It's quite funny, and that's basically what we've been watching. So thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of the Noonas and what we've been watching. You can listen to our episodes wherever podcasts can be found, but you can also check out our YouTube channel where all the episodes are. youtube.com/channel/certified news. Just search Certified Noonas on YouTube. You'll find us. We also do live streams there, so you should definitely go like subscribe to our channel for free and like hang out with us on live streams and all that. But you can also go to, if you want time codes and links and stuff to stuff we talk about, you can go to certifiednoonas.com, our website, where we have every single episode we've ever done with time codes and all that fun stuff. And if you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join the Certified Found family, our family on the web. We really love them, and we think that they're great, and we have movie nights, and they get special badges on our Discord, because you should also come join our free Discord, where you can talk dramas, you can talk K-pop, you can talk life, you can talk whatever you want, as long as you're respectful and cool, because we are respectful and cool. That's our vibes over here. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week, or having a great holiday season, and just remember, COVID numbers are coming back up. So wear a mask and wash your hands and cover your mouth if you cough. Anyway, and as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.